The left's attempt at incriminating Donald Trump seemingly never sleeps. The former president now firing back with several lawsuits of his own. This witch hunt, it just goes on and on and on with no end in sight. Joining me now for more to break this all down, we're talking about a lot of cases in several different jurisdictions. Alina Habba, former, she's the president's attorney, but she's with us in-house now. Alina, good morning.
Hi,
Great
Rob.
to have you on.
Morning.
A lot to unpack here. I want to talk about Letitia James, her case against the president. What's the latest? We heard so much on day one about this case, so much.
Yeah.
But again, no victims, no damages. And the big one for me, when I was looking at this 220-page filing, all the banks got paid back with interest. What is the case?
There is no case. There was absolutely no victims. Donald Trump, the former president, is an incredibly wealthy man with a great, successful company. He had major lenders like Deutsche Bank, for instance, who have their own vetting process. And there was the statement of financial conditions with a massive waiver that basically said, look, these are what we believe our properties are worth. You do your own due diligence, which they did. And then they all made money. And there's never been a default notice. There has never been a victim. But she was down in the polls, and midterm elections are coming up. So what does she do? She holds this massive conference where she effectively claims that there was some damage, which there wasn't. Meanwhile, crime is crazy in New York.
Yeah, she should be focused on that. It's fascinating you bring up her race. Obviously, the timing of this suit is political, and I think you can say that even if you are not talking about the former president here. But she is losing in her race to get reelected to the attorney generalship in New York, and those numbers are the gap is growing. What do you make of this sort of dual justice that has become so clear when it comes to Donald Trump and every other former president, by the way? Look at the way that Bill Clinton stored documents, Barack Obama, George H.W. Bush, George W. Bush. Why is Donald Trump any different, and why is he being treated so differently?
Because he still has a very large political career ahead of him if he so chooses. You know, my client is ahead in the polls, and every time they try and knock him down, his poll numbers go up. So you know what? We welcome it because he's going to fight back, and he continues to do so. But you're right. Look at Obama. He's got a warehouse of documents next to a freaking McDonald's.
Right.
A McDonald's. Donald Trump's is at Mar-a-Lago, secure, gated, double locked, cooperating with the DOJ, with Secret Service around it, and he gets raided. It's a very frightening time for our country. Yeah,
that way coming up on 9 weeks this Monday. I just want to go into some of the specifics about the Mar-a-Lago raid. So the lawsuit claimed that Donald Trump overinflated the value of the Mar-a-Lago property. So Mar-a-Lago, 126 rooms. It's almost 70,000 square feet. It's an illustrious, famous property in Palm Beach. But he claimed it was worth just over $700 million. It sits on almost 20 acres of land.
Yeah.
$100 million an acre, by the way, in Palm Beach is not that unreasonable.
No.
But here's the thing. All the banks, all the lenders, they got paid back in full with interest.
Wait, here's the kicker.
Again, when does this case get dropped? I don't see what the case is.
There is no case. It's a political scheme for her to get reelected, which probably won't happen anyway. I hope not. But let me tell you what else. She put that Mar-a-Lago's worth $75 million.
Right.
It was a joke. This man has very little debt. He has these unicorn properties that you really can't go in and compare to anywhere else. Plus, if you slap the Trump name on it, the value of the brand in itself is tremendous. So, but $75 million for Mar-a-Lago. Show me any property that's comparable for $25 million.
If that's worth $75 million, we should pool our finances.
You want to split it? We'll split it.
We could probably get a favorable loan and go down there. Yes. I mean, I'd love to have that. It'd be tough to air condition that place in the summer. Okay, so the former president said just this week that he would like the Supreme Court to take a look at this. How does that work?
So you file an application with the Supreme Court. They take a look at it. They've already said that they do want a DOJ response. So that's good. And what they'll do is they'll take a look at what the 11th Circuit did, which we believe was flawed, saying that the special master can't look at classified documents. Well, then why do you have a special master?
Right.
It's the DOJ, again, dual justice system, trying to slow things down and try and get, what I'm sure they hope is some charge before midterms. It's all a political ploy, and it's nothingness. This is a library book situation.
Two quick ones. Are you happy with the special master in this case in Florida? I thought it was fascinating. fascinating that both the Trump legal team and the DOJ were both for this particular special master.
Yeah, you know, I don't think you can say that you're happy with any judge, even if it's a Trump-appointed judge. Sometimes they go the other way and they get concerned because they don't want to look like they're impartial. So the judges right now, I think, are under a tremendous amount of scrutiny. I don't have any opinion about Judge Dearie. I think he's going to follow the rules. Do I like the decision he made? No. But, you know, I try not to speak ill of judges that are doing their job. Yeah. Whether he's doing his job or not, though, is yet to be seen.
Okay, the New York suit, Letitia James, pardon me. How does that play out in New York?
Oh, that's a dud. To me, she's already done what she wanted to do, which was have her political moment. She went and campaigned against him before she was even an AG. She's now getting down in the polls, getting reelected. She needed that press conference. It's done after that. They're trying to expedite it. It's a loser case. There's absolutely no problem. So I think we're going to win very easily.
Okay, and then just quickly, any fear? 33 days away from the midterms. Gas prices are hurting Joe Biden. We know that the Democrats would love to see Donald Trump indicted before the midterm elections. What's the fear that something like that happens?
For me, none, because he has done nothing wrong.
Zero. Okay.
Zero. And if they do it, I can tell you we'll be reversing it and going after them just as hard. It's not okay what they're doing to him. It's all political.
Alina Habba, great to have you back on. Good to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you.
All right.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
me decide.
Newsmax.
real news
For real people.